Hello guys and welcome back to Assetto Corsa. Today we'll be taking out the Caterham 7 Academy Edition on Mugello.
Yep, this is actually a car that I was really looking forward to having in the simulator because I like this car. I've always liked Caterhams, and I think there's something about a Caterham. It's so classic.
Yeah,
it's such a classic car, the Lotus 7s. And then they suddenly, you come out with these Caterhams, and there's so many different versions of different powers and different specs, right up to, is it the R650 or something?
I think so, yeah.
It's just an incredible, powerful machine. But this, obviously, is the Academy Road Legal low-end mod.
I'll tell you what I really like is the fact that you told me that this is a new car, and yet it has no ABS, no traction, no electronics. It's just simply a mechanical car, a full-on race car.
Yeah.
And the fact is that you can literally buy this car for, what was it? Was it around 15 to 17 grand?
Yeah.
That's with you building the car.
Yeah, and I think you can get it, I think if it's all factory built and ready to race, I think 20 grand, maybe 25, something like that. So £25,000.
It's pretty good. I mean, I really like that, especially with such a light car.
This is actually a car I want to get in the future to build.
Hopefully, yeah.
Because obviously, with me and my engineering, so I would like to get my hands on this and just build it. And I know you'd probably like to do something similar. Oh, I don't know. Would you then put traction control in the car?
No way. In a car like this, you just want to have pure fun. And this is exactly what it is.
And so I think what we'll do is, like as usual, we'll start with the specs of the car. We've already mentioned about no ABS, no traction control, no stability protection, none of that. Let's go through the rest of the specs.
So it features a Ford Sigma 4-cylinder engine.
Yep, 1.6 litres.
Which I believe is it from the Focus?
Yeah, it comes in a Ford Focus. Although I think in the Focus it was only at, I think, 102 bhp, something like that. So they managed to boost it up to 125 bhp, and all of that power comes in at 6,000 rpm.
Yeah.
Now, funnily enough, this car doesn't go that much higher than 6,000 rpm. I think 7,000 is its limit.
But I'm surprised it actually has 140 newton meters of torque, and that's given at 4,000 rpm.
Yeah, 4,000. So if you want to slide this car, and this car is very good for oversteer, 4,000 rpm is where you need it to get that back end kicking out. It's definitely that area. And because it only weighs 575 kilograms,
which is absolutely nothing. It's literally half of our cars.
It's the weight of a Formula 1 car from about 10 years ago.
Wow.
And it's about half the weight of your car. It's slightly 100%. More than half the weight of my car. But with all of that, it means that per ton you get 210 bhp.
That's a lot. And given that you can do 0 to 60 at 6 seconds.
6 seconds. Yeah,
that's crazy.
That is quite a lot of power, and take all that into account, and then look at the car itself.
Yeah,
just a roll cage with a bit of a bucket on it.
Exactly, and I'm surprised it's even road legal.
Yeah, I suppose it is a bit of a surprise. But then
again, I think for a car to be road legal, it needs what? Mirrors, indicators,
lights.
Yeah, lights.
Lights, and it has to be. I think the ride height has to be a certain amount.
And according to this, you need to have a roll cage.
I don't think this car would be legal in America, actually. I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at it. I'm just thinking, it doesn't have front bumpers.
Oh, does it not?
Can you see the way the front of the car is? It's just got the nose. And I think in America you have to have a front bumper. So this car wouldn't be legal in America, but I know for certain it's road legal here in the UK because I've seen these cars on the roads. So yeah, 5 gears. So I don't think we mentioned that, but it is just a pure out track car.
Yeah, really. Definitely.
And you'll see that over the few laps I do, I try and push this car just to see where it works. So for example, here, trying to check the understeer, see what happens there, and then you'll see later on in the further laps, I'll be trying to check for oversteer and really throw the car in the corner, see does it go wide, how wide does it go, and how easy is it to catch when you lose control.
Well, was this car more prone to understeer or oversteer?
Oversteer.
Oversteer.
It was more prone to oversteer.
Being a rear-wheel drive car.
But like you said, no matter what car it is, if you go into a corner too fast, you're going to understeer.
Definitely.
Yeah, you go into a corner too fast, you're going to understeer unless you just suddenly lift off the power and hit on the brakes, and then suddenly, center of gravity pitches forward.
Yeah.
No traction on the rear wheels, you're gone.
Definitely.
Yeah, which is exactly what I tried in later laps. In fact, I think in the next lap, you may actually see me try that. So that's it. Specs of the car covered. Now we've broken this car down into a few sections. We've broken it into the physics and handling, the model, the sounds, the textures.
Yeah.
So I think that's a fair amount to break it down into.
So I think we should go on to the physics and handling first. So let's talk about, well, the tyres itself and the handling.
Okay. So generally, like you said, the car it oversteers.
Oh.
It does have a tendency to oversteer, and that makes it incredibly fun to drive. Yeah. I'm sure you know that anyone who wants to drive a car and have a real driver's car, you want a car that wants to oversteer.
Yeah.
Which is why rear-wheel drive cars are so sought out. I mean, that being said, I know that a lot of powerful front-wheel drive cars, you can get, power oversteer and all that kind of stuff on it now. But it's still the rear-wheel drive that just has that little bit of that
advantage.
That little bit, exactly, advantage. The brakes were surprisingly good on this car. Like even without ABS, you could push the brakes pretty hard, and very few times did I lock up on this.
Did they have Brembo brakes by any chance?
I can't remember actually. You might be right. I think Brembo would be the ideal partner here.
Yeah.
With them. I didn't actually check that. I did not check the brakes, but I tell you something, whatever brakes they are, they're strong.
Let's just say for a track car like this, you'd need good brakes.
You need good brakes, and this one doesn't fail to deliver.
Yeah, exactly. So that's good.
And like you were saying before, it's a very old school feeling car.
Yeah.
It looks old school, but we'll talk about that in a bit.
I think both of us can totally agree that we love old school cars.
Yeah.
We don't want none of this electronics or anything like that. This is just pure race car, and that's what I like about it.
I mean, what I find is that I understand the need. There you go. Checking how far it understands. Just look at the physics on the suspension.
I know.
You can see the suspension's bouncing up and down. That's absolutely brilliant.
I think, to be honest, if you want fun in a car, you just want a pure mechanical car, and this is what this car delivers, which is perfect.
I mean, I'm not gonna knock new cars like the McLaren P1 or the Ferrari. They're incredible cars in their own right.
Exactly.
But let's take, for example, a classic example is the P1 versus the McLaren F1.
Yeah.
Most people would have the F1.
Yeah.
Yes, the P1's amazing on carbon emissions and all that, and really good for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's got incredible power, and it's faster than an F1, and it can go around a lap faster than an F1, and its cornering's better than an F1. You'd still have the F1.
And I know
I would.
It's because of its fun factor,
It's more mechanical. Yeah. It was just more mechanical. There are electronic aids here and there. I don't mind the occasional electronic aid. I'm generally quite a fan of ABS at times.
Yeah.
Especially when you're not used to a car. When you're not used to a car, I think ABS is very good. So for a normal road car, ABS is great. But if you want to be getting used to a car properly, you want a car where you can feel exactly what the brake's doing. Not that you slam hard down on the brakes and the ABS takes care of it. You need to know that, okay, look, this car's going to lock up. I can feel that in the brakes.
Yeah.
It's happening. I can feel the car sliding. There's no traction control holding me back or anything.
Exactly.
And that's something this Caterham does very well. And it's incredibly agile. This car is very agile. And you can tell. You can tell when the car's understeering or oversteering before it happens. And the feedback that you get back in the wheel, very nicely done.
That's good.
I'm very impressed with that. That being said, one thing that I knocked down on this is the tyres. I find the tyres were too grippy. I think that this car should have been far easier to slide, to get the back end to kick out. It wasn't. It was quite difficult. Now, if you look at the tyres, they're very skinny tyres.
I don't know when you say grippy, is that really a bad thing or a good thing?
I think it's a good thing in terms of the car racing it. You want the grip. But I think it's a bad thing in terms of accuracy. This car should be, I think, in my opinion, sliding more. Not much more, but it should be easier to slide this car. I did manage to eventually get it sliding. But for example here, you see, I am pushing to the limit of that car there. I should have been able to feel a bit of a slide. I didn't feel anything. I think just a little bit. You see there, just a very tiny bit of correction needed. But that's about it. Still, I think I'm not going to really knock much away from that. If you can sort out the tyres, if you can make tyres that are maybe, you can have these grippy tyres and another set of tyres that are not as grippy, perfect. Absolutely perfect. We'll swiftly move on to the model, because we did touch on that.
Now, the model itself is very highly detailed, but Well, as soon as this car loaded, I noticed the interior and everything, all the textures, the speedometers, they all seem to be accurate. And even the lighting and stuff. I really like the blue colours.
Yeah, it is quite nice. I like the fact that with the roll cage and everything, everything's smooth.
Yeah.
There's no, you can't see that many jagged edges on it. Everything's all very smooth, and all the animations look really good.
Even the carbon fibre on the wheel arch itself.
Yeah.
It's very accurate.
Yeah, we're going into textures here, so we will go into the textures. We might as well merge them together. Like you said, the carbon fibre is really good. Now, the dashboard, like you said, looks great when it's lit up. Few things I don't like about the textures, and this is where my biggest gripe was with this car. I don't like the standard texture that comes with it. We're using a modded texture by Crash, and these are absolutely fantastic, and there are already loads and loads coming out.
So just to confirm, the actual texture that comes with this mod itself by, was it K Camel, I think? An FK Camel, sorry.
Yeah.
That one we didn't like too much.
We didn't like that.
So we downloaded a mod.
Yeah, downloaded a mod, so we've just put a mod upon a mod.
So we'll link that in the description.
And we'll link both of those in the description. But there are so many textures out there, and that's I found was the one thing that let it down. The fact that there was only one skin available. Now this is like an Academy Cup car.
Yeah.
So you would have expected that straight out of the box there should have been different colours available. Loads of different skins, not like 50, 100, just like maybe 5 or 10, different ones, so you could actually race them around. Obviously, the modding community has already got together and sorted that out.
Yeah.
But we judge a mod upon what it has, not upon the mods that go upon it.
Exactly, yeah.
So this mod didn't have that, and we think that's not, that I didn't like.
Yeah.
And the last thing is that it's a very open car, so I would have expected that the suit and the helmet would have at least had some sort of colour on it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, at this one, it was just basically
pure white. Yeah.
Exactly. It was just the standard stuff. So that's what I didn't like about the textures, and that is, I think, the biggest gripe I had with this car was those textures. Let's go. I think we'll move away from textures and we'll go to the sounds.
Yeah.
Now with the sounds,
I heard the sounds. I don't know. It was quite a confusing one, to be honest. It sounded, because the car seems to rumble a lot more than a normal forces in the car. I was a bit confused at first to what type of engine it would be. I thought it'd be some sort of like a boxed engine, but yeah, it proved to be a Ford Sigma engine. Yeah, inline four, so it wasn't really boxed at all. Yeah, but yeah, the sound itself sounds really good. It is a muffled sound, so yeah, I found that. When you've got an open car like this, and then you hear a slightly muffled sound, it makes it sound like you're inside the car, but not inside the car. Yeah. And it's a bit confusing because, like you said, you could hear the noise of the air. Exactly. You can hear everything. There's no screen, is there? Yeah, there's no screen. So it's just pure air coming towards you. Yeah, so you can hear all that, and that's such a nice noise. But then you have this slightly muffled engine. Yeah. And it wasn't just this car. There was another car that had this problem as well that we mentioned. Which car was it? It was the Mazda MX-5 that I was reviewing a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. That had the same problem. It just sounded like the engine was just a little bit too muffled. Yeah, and it sounded like you were sitting inside the car, that was enclosed, rather than in an open cockpit. Yeah. So there was that. So I've just got one question actually. If this car has no windscreen, then I'm a bit confused. How can that be road legal? You don't need a windscreen to have it road legal. So that means you'd have to have a helmet to drive this car. Yeah. Otherwise you'd be blasted with you don't have to have like a full on. You don't have to have a race helmet like mine. And then you'd have a face like Jeremy Clarkson when the wind hits his face. In the aerial, was it the aerial? Yeah, the aerial atom. Yeah. Or you'd have a face like James May, Cocker Spaniel, hair flying everywhere. But no, you don't have to have a helmet like mine or like the helmet that's in here. But you do have to have some sort of protection. Yeah, exactly. Sort of, I suppose this would have the same kind of regulations as a motorbike. Yeah. Motorbikes don't have windscreens. That's true. I mean, they have that little tiny deflector at the front, but you don't really need that. And I suppose you could put a windscreen on here if you wanted to. Yeah. I mean, there is space to put one. So that's. I mean, it's like you said, it's the Academy mod. That means these cars really do. You do really have these cars, and what happens is that this has been going on for a long time now, many years. I think over a decade. It might have even been 2 decades. This has been going on. Okay. And people join this Caterham Academy, and at the end of it, they get to race with people. Other people. They get to build their own car. They get taught about racing these cars. So it's basically like a little tournament kind of thing. In a sense, yeah. Except when they come out of it, they actually come out with a race license as well. That's brilliant, that is.
Yeah, so it's something that's cool, and you don't, it doesn't matter whether you know everything about cars or nothing about cars.
So with that race license, what could you do?
Once you have a race license, there are different levels of race licenses, and I think, funnily enough, the best way that this was shown was actually in Gran Turismo.
Yeah.
And you actually had like a national B, national A, international C, B.
So you can go into different car groups.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And each one allows you to race different things. The top license in the world is the S, the special license. For a special license, there's only one series that requires a special license to race, and that's Formula One. Even IndyCar and all of them, I don't think they require the special license. They require the second highest license, WRC, IndyCar, I think GT, GP2. They all actually not GT, GP2, GP3. I think they all require the second highest license.
Okay.
And then below that, you've got the GT licenses and all of them. So I think we could, for example, probably quite easily get ourselves a license to race this car.
Yeah.
We could get a license to race GT3 cars quite easily. Yeah, but then going higher than that, you've got to have more.
Yeah.
And some of them, it's like you don't. Not only do you have to do more, tests and more training and all that, you've also got to actually win in previous series.
Yeah.
So, for example, let's say you wanted to be able to race, for example, I don't know, a GT1 car, even though they don't really race GT1 anymore. You'd have GT1 cars. You'd have to probably win in GT3 and GT2 to be able to race GT1 and then get into F3, F2, F1, whatever.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
They have F3. F2. That F2 they really messed up. There we go, I'm going off. So you can see...
That's your fair spin-off, isn't it?
There are times where this car will spin, but did you see how easy it was just to come back up on? And look at that, it's spinning off, I'm counter-steering and straight back on the track.
It's got quite long nose, hasn't it?
Yeah, it does look surprisingly long. It does look surprisingly long, but there you go, you can see now just how... It was a very fun car to drive.
Yeah.
It was a very, very fun car to drive. What I'm going to say that needs improvement, I'm going to say still the tyres. I'm going to go again.
Yeah.
Dirty tyres.
Whoops.
So again, but you'll notice that now that I've seen this and now I know what it's going to do.
Yeah.
I'm not going to make this mistake again. I'm still going to slide the car. In fact, I think in the very next lap, I'm going to slide the car, but it'll be at the exact same positions. I won't make the same mistake.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about this car. Once you've made a mistake, you know how to stop.
Yeah.
You know how to stop making a mistake. Like I said, one thing I think we'll both agree on: the tires. I think they do need to be changed.
Definitely. Or even if they had two versions.
Exactly. Just another version, something that's more or less grippy.
Yeah. Just a little bit less grippy. Yeah.
I suppose in the meantime, if I want to really slide the car around, I'll just bump up the pressure in the tire.
Yeah.
Just bump up the pressure, get it a bit more bouncy.
Or better, just choose a different tire model. So.
Well, I wouldn't be able to because there isn't another tire model.
Oh, is it not?
No, it's just these tires. That's what I'm saying.
So which one is this? Is it soft or hard compound?
These are street compounds.
Oh, street compounds. Okay.
So they've actually got tread on them.
So we can't choose
slicks.
any.
These aren't slicks.
Yeah, so maybe that could be an improvement.
That would be something that I'd want. Tires that are not that grippy.
Being on the track, you needed another set of tires.
You need more. I think if you have a few sets of tires, it'd be quite good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Apart
from that,
that's another thing actually. It's probably just a little thing actually. But yeah, the speedometer itself is measured in kilometers an hour.
Yeah.
Maybe if it was in miles per hour, it would have been good, but that's just as good.
I don't. Yeah, I was just gonna say I'm not too sure because looking at which side the steering wheel is on.
Yeah.
It should be in miles an hour.
Exactly.
Yeah. If it was on the opposite side and it was in kph, I'd say, yeah, okay.
Okay, fair enough.
But it's mph. It's on that side. That's the other thing I'm gonna knock about it.
But to be honest, it doesn't really matter when you've got a mod like us on the left bottom.
Yeah,
bottom
when
left
you're
corner.
using the apps, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, exactly. Doesn't
You
really
just drop
matter.
your car keys.
Yes.
But yeah, overall, I think I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. And the reason I'm giving it an 8.5 is because it's really, really good, and I think it would have been deserving of a 9, but the textures have let it down.
I'll definitely agree with you. I think an 8.5 as well. The fact that we had to go and download a modded texture probably just knocked a little bit down, but yeah, and there are a few improvements you could make to this car, but
yeah, very few though.
I think if we rate anything, it's a high 8.5, so that's good. I really like it.
So would that make it like an 8.59?
I guess, yeah, 8.5, 9,
so that makes it 8.6.
I guess.
Next to nothing, it makes it. So is it a low 8.6 or a high 8.5?
That's a difficult.
You can see now that I'm actually watch. I'll just take it out and yeah, okay, let's actually slide it now. Last time I crashed it, this time no problems.
Yeah.
So that's really good. And what I'll do is we're coming up to the end of this lap. There's not much left on this, so what I'll do is I'll leave you guys to enjoy this. I think I may actually have one more lap after this, so I'll leave you guys to enjoy it. And download links will be in the description box below, so make sure you do download this. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to hit the like button if you like this video, subscribe to our channel for more videos on Assetto Corsa, and leave a comment in our comments box below if there's any mods that you think we should try, or once you've downloaded this, let us know what you think, because generally I think we enjoyed it.
Yeah, that was a good class.
We'll see you next time.